Hello. I just want to make a quick video about my experience with Tarlov Cysts. Now, I can remember maybe even when I was about 25 or 26, really struggling with back problems in the lower back. And I used to have a cleaning job, and it used to get to a point, like I think when I was in my 30s, it used to get to a point where I would have to stop standing up and I would have to basically hoover kneeling down on the floor because it wasn't so much pain, it was I would lose the strength in my back. Anyway, this went on for many years, and I used to say to doctors, and they do tests, and they wouldn't find anything. And then I think it was 2018 they discovered, no, yeah, 2018 they discovered that I had, no, maybe it wasn't 2018, let's see. Yeah, maybe it was around 2018 or 2017 when I was working in a supermarket and I was doing cleaning. And it got to the point where I just couldn't walk anymore. I had such severe pain in my legs and just burning pains down both my legs, and I was really in a lot of pain. And they said I had problems with hips, and I was actually treated for a very bad tendonitis. And then after that, I stopped working, and I was very, very scared to get those pains again. A doctor told me that I had what they call tendinopathies, where I just have problems in my tendons, so that when I do exercise or anything, I'm basically just going to end up in pain. It happens with my wrist all the time. So I kind of tried to move on with my life and do things. And then it was last year, I got severe pains. And I had been told from that x ray in 2017 that I had these Tarlov cysts, but they said they weren't a problem. And in 2020, I was also told that I have what they call, spina bifida occulta. That's right. Also very low to the sacroiliac region. Now, this time last year, I was in a lot of pain. I'd been working with somebody, we'd been doing music together, and I'd been walking to his house like twice a week. And here's me thinking, yeah, I'm going to walk and I'm going to get fit and I'm going to feel good. And actually, quite the contrary happened. I started getting more and more pains. It got to the point where this time last year, I could hardly walk. Now, I went to a doctor and they did a scan, and this was what my scan looked like. This was just one of the cysts. I have 7 in total, not all of this big. So I went to see a specialist in the major city here in Portugal because I don't live in the UK. And he told me that I needed an operation very quickly. He said I shouldn't wait. And he only did the operation where they aspirate and they put the fibrin glue. So here's me. I was taking the medication. What medication was I was taking? Let's have a look. I was taking tramadol. I was taking Voltaren. I was taking another thing I can't even pronounce. And yeah, and also here I had other medications here. Oxybazepam. Oh no, I also have nocturnal convulsions. So I have to take anticonvulsion meds. Yeah, so this really scared me. The doctor basically said, I needed the operation. I went online, I joined these Facebook groups, and people were telling me, oh, yeah, this is going to wear away. The nerves are going to get really bad. You can end up with paralysis. And I just thought, no, it can't be. Now, I went to see a physiotherapist and he wouldn't touch me. He saw this scan and he did not want to touch me. He did not want me to do any exercises. He did not want me to do anything. So I kind of took it easy for a while. And then in the summer, I think I started swimming a little bit because my family were over and they had an apartment for like nearly a month. Not an apartment, they had a villa with a swimming pool for nearly a month. So I went round there frequently and I did a bit of swimming. And I found this really helped. So it seemed to really relieve the pain. So I thought, it's really good. It's nice. And then I found as the summer went on, I was feeling less pain. And then September, October, November, I didn't hardly have any pain, which I thought was strange. By this time, I'd started doing like sit-ups, just very slow sit-ups on my bed, just with my arms outstretched and then pulling myself up like this with my cat because he helps me with the exercises. And I found that it was easy enough. And then so through the winter, I wasn't very active in the winter. I live in an apartment on the third floor, so I have to walk up a lot of stairs to get here. So I'm always doing the stairs, which I never had real trouble with. So then I found that in the spring, just like last year, I started to get the pains again. And I thought, this has to be something else. So my thought in the beginning was that I had sacroiliac dysfunction. So what sacroiliac dysfunction is, it's the part of the sacrum that meets the ilias, or like the hip bones, if you like. There's a small space in between them. And if you have too much space, it can cause a problem. If you don't have enough space, it can cause a problem. So what can happen is if there's a bit too much space, these can move about a little bit too much, and you can end up getting pains from this and inflammation. And this inflammation can be very painful. So I thought, oh, I hope I don't get that sciatica again like I did last year, because I had it down both legs, like from my back to my feet. And I thought, no, I've got to do something, I've got to do something. And then I remembered that when I was younger, maybe in my 30s, I was told that I had a difference in leg length. Now, when I tell people this, they say, yeah, but everybody does. But mine, you can notice it by my hips. So when you look at my hips, for example, one side of my body is like this, and the other side of my body goes like this. So you can see there's a big difference. Now, I even remember when I was younger, like 15, 16, and I used to make my own clothes. Whenever I made skirts, I had to be very careful, because if I put them on inside out, I had to make sure that I measured the right hip, because one hip was always more out than the other. Now, I got to thinking about this and I thought, what if I put an insert in my shoes? What if I just put something to raise my shoe a little on the inside under my left foot? I always felt like I was dragging my right leg. And I thought, maybe if I put this little insert in, maybe it's going to even it out a little bit more, and I won't have to drag my right leg so much. So it makes sense. If one of your legs is shorter, you're going to have to compensate a lot on one side to be able to walk properly. So I started this maybe nearly 2 months ago, or just over, yeah, maybe 1.5 months ago. Since then, I've been walking frequently, twice a week, a certain distance, and basically walking around the town and stuff. And I have to admit that I've noticed a remarkable difference. I can now sleep on my stomach again. Before, I could not sleep on my stomach because I would wake up and basically my back would be locked and I would be in a lot of pain, and I'd have to kind of roll over to get it to change position. And now I'm almost completely pain free. And I mean pain free. The tingling sensations have gone. The sciatic is completely gone. I still feel that little bit of inflammation just at the back of the sacroiliac, but it's not like it was. So this makes me wonder, how come if my operation was so urgent and I didn't have that operation, how come I'm pain free? Because if the Tarlov cysts cause pain, then shouldn't I theoretically still be in pain? Because this is not something like you can go into remission. If the nerve is being irritated, it's always going to be irritated. So if these cysts that are growing on the nerve, well, they're not growing, but if these cysts within the nerve sheath are causing pain, theoretically, they would cause pain all the time. There would be no ceasing of this pain. It would be like a trapped nerve. There would be nothing you could do about it unless it was untrapped. So it got me thinking about this surgeon that everybody raves about. And he does all these operations in the United States. And it's almost like it's become a fad. Like suddenly everybody has Tarlov cyst disease, and suddenly all these surgeons can fix it. Well, not all of them, there's very few, apparently. So it makes me wonder if this has become a little bit of a business too, you know? I'm not going to mention any doctors' names, but I think people know Dr. F, they call him. I was told I could be operated on if I went to Gibraltar or something. I can't remember. Was it Gibraltar or was it Malta? I can't remember. Or Crete, somewhere like that. And it was going to cost me 65,000 euros. Seriously, I do not have that kind of money. I drive a 22-year-old car with 200,000 kilometers on the meter. I cannot afford it. And I cannot afford an operation that costs that much. So, yeah, I just wanted to put this out there because I'm thinking that maybe if you change certain habits, if you start walking more, and I know people don't want to hear this because when you're in pain, you don't want to hear this. But I used to find that I found that when I was in pain, even last year, the more I got out and moved, the better I felt. If I stayed sitting down, especially on a soft sofa, it would just make it worse. I actually sit here on like a sun chair. It's like the hard plastic sun chairs that you sit at a table. And I find it really comfortable. I find it more comfortable than my sofa. I'd like to hear about your experiences if any of you have found that you changed something in your lifestyle and without having an operation, you improved. Because to be quite honest with you, after this experience, I do not want somebody to go poking around in my spine. The doctor who wanted to operate on me also said that my sacroiliac joint itself was a mess. So why would you want to go in and mess with that? It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I actually made a request to see another doctor last year in the health system, and my appointment just came through. So I'm going to be seeing that doctor in July, and I would like to see what he thinks of this because I definitely think that this hip thing, this length in the leg, this leg length discrepancy, has been a major cause of my pain in my spine. Thank you for watching this video. I will maybe give an update when I go to my next appointment. And in the meantime, all I can say to you is just stay positive. Try not to fixate on the medication and on how bad you feel. Try to distract yourselves. Have a little faith in the guy upstairs.